And now joining me with more on the coalition's troubles, attorney and Knesset member with the Religious Zionism Party, Simcha Rothman. Simcha, it's great to have you back. So the settlement law extension has failed to pass, and with help from within the coalition. What does that actually mean for settlement citizens, though, and what does this mean for the government?
For citizens in Judea and Samaria, the fact that the law will pass now or in a few weeks or in extension, if we go to election, this law will be extended automatically. It's not really drastic. For the government and especially government agencies, it demands a lot of changes. That's why I think that this coalition will understand, and the members of the coalition, and especially the justice minister, will understand that if a coalition cannot pass a law that is basically essential for the government functions in Judea and Samaria and also in Israel, does not have the right to exist and has to be dissolved and either form a new coalition or go to elections.
All right, well, we saw you yesterday with Ahmed Tibi from the Joint List before the vote. Why would you vote against this bill, again, with the Joint List, when you're such a staunch supporter of the settlements in Judea and Samaria?
I think that to say that the people who voted, people have, when you're not part of a coalition, people have so many reasons to vote in a specific vote. If, for example, we'll bring a vote to the Knesset that the government will want to apply sovereignty only on the small parts of the settlement, I will object to it because I will say there is no reason to differentiate between two nearing settlements.
But that's not the case. But in this situation, it's not the same.
I think it's the same, and I will explain why. I think it's the same. I am against this law because A, it's not enough, and B, this government hurts the settlements in so many ways. And this law will give, if this law not passing will make the time of this coalition shorter, well, the settlements will benefit from it. The settlements will get a government that does not apply biased laws on Jews that building in Judea and Samaria in comparison to Arabs. Now, Ahmed Tibi, I wasn't talking with him about the reasons he vote, but I understand he votes against it because of his general objection to the existence of the state of Israel. He does not care what will happen in Judea and Samaria or not. He does not want the state of Israel to be in power in Judea and Samaria. So the fact that on the one vote, we both vote the same thing, it does not mean that we both want the same thing.
So if I go back to this vote, though, I mean, at the end of the day, it sounds like the opposition, many members of the opposition like yourself, are essentially voting against your own interests in order to embarrass the coalition, ultimately. But you're gambling that the coalition will fail and then later you'll pass it. But at the same time, a new poll suggests that less than a third of the population would actually vote for the same party as they did in the last election. Aren't you at all concerned that you're alienating your voters?
First, we're very connected to our voters, and I think that the numbers are changing if you check different parties. But I don't think that this issue needs to be the main issue we're talking about. I think that anyone who tries to say that for the interest of the settlements, again, I do not accept this equilibrium. I don't accept it. But if people say that it is what's good for the settlements is bad for the state of Israel, a government that has the support terror supporters, give its mouth-to-mouth daily air supply, and the fact that this government again hurts the settlers, that the members of the coalition, one member of the coalition calls them undermensch with the Hebrew term. The fact that this coalition continues to exist does not help not the settlements, not the state of Israel, and trying to put the interest of the settlers versus the interest of the state of Israel, I think that will hurt the settlers much more than anything else.
All right. Again, the opposition says that, as you stated earlier, that the coalition will crumble, the opposition will gain power, and then you'll pass such laws in your own time.
I will. If I will have 61 votes in the Knesset, I will not pass this law. I will pass a different law. Okay. I will apply sovereignty on Judea, Judea and Samaria, and then definitely on the settlements in Judea and Samaria. So this law is not my ideology.
But in any case, in the interim,
this law is a band-aid. This law is a band-aid covering the. Sorry.
Knesset Member Rothman, I mean, in any case, I'm sorry for interrupting, but in any case, you're still leaving upwards of 500,000 Israeli citizens without the rule of law and order. So, how soon?
No, it's not true. It's not true. Most laws apply directly to citizens of Israel, even if they live in Judea and Samaria. Even the criminal law apply directly on Israelis, and definitely except misdemeanors. So it will not create a chaos for the settlers. It will create a chaos for the government. And that's why the government's interest is to prevent it. I understand that. And I think it's a good idea to have a band-aid covering the fact that Israel did not decide if Israel wants to apply sovereignty or to get out of Judea and Samaria. So there is a good reason to put a band-aid on something that you want to deal with later. But this government does not want to deal with it later. So I have no reason to give it the band-aid it needs to hurt the settlers and the citizens of Israel.
All right. Knesset Member Simcha Rothman, thank you so much again for joining us.
Thank you.